Hello everybody, and thank you for joining me at The Lonely Vine. So I wanted to do another wines you may not have had before. I imagine a good majority of you have had this one, but maybe not. So I wanted to give it a shot, and I'm talking about Priorat. So Priorat is a Spanish wine. This is going to be up in the northeast portion of Spain, in the Catalonia region. The Catalonia region is going to be right up against the Pyrenees Mountains. Priorat is going to be kind of towards the south of that, right there up against the Balearic Sea. Thank you, Google Maps, for sponsoring my last 10 seconds of The Lonely Vine. This is an interesting little region. It's a very small region, really slate, rocks, not an easy place for grapes to grow. So the grapes really struggle, the vines really struggle to get water to feed the grapes, and any time that the grapes struggle to survive, that's generally going to make a better, higher quality wine. Now wines really have only I shouldn't say high quality, but the wines of Priorat really exploded onto the scene, the wine scene. I mean, really like in the 90s, early 90s, 89, 90, that kind of time frame, very short time frame that they've been producing wine. And this is only the second region in all of Spain to get the DOC little a classification. Rioja is the other one. So it's only two regions that have the DOCA and or DOQ, depending on if you're speaking Catalan or not. And it's a standard, basically a standard that's set forth by law within the regions. For the Priorat region, it's going to say, how much can they grow, time frames, what the growing season is, what grapes they can use, those kind of things. And there will be a tasting panel. So when you see a DOC classification on a Spanish wine, you'll know that it's showing the characteristics of that region for the wine that you've got. Doesn't mean you'll like it, doesn't mean your friends will like it. It just means that it meets certain standards, and that it should show the way that wines from that region show. So it's a good thing to see, but it's not a guarantee you'll like it. Wines from this region are generally going to be Grenache for the most in the blend, and then Carignan will be the second one. Now that's more the traditional style of Priorat wines that you'll see. There are more newer styles, more the international grapes that are coming in. That has been Cabernet Sauvignon for quite a while, but you're starting to see Syrah sneak in there as a blending wine as well. But for the most part, you should see Grenache as the leader. Now this one is a 50-50 blend of the Grenache and the Carignan. You're not going to find a lot of these. I saw these. There was 2 bottles when I went to the liquor store looking for it, and there was this one, which was a 50-50 blend, and the other one was Grenache, Cabernet, and the Carignan. I wanted to go with the more traditional route for this, so I went with the 50-50 blend, even though I would have liked to seen one with more Grenache in it, or Grenache. So enough of that. Let's pour. Now when I was opening this one, I did notice there's some staining on one side of it, probably where it sat, so there may be some sediment in it because I didn't decant this. If there is, big whoop. Doesn't really mean anything, just might have a little gristle in there. I'm already getting some aromas off this wine, so I'm interested to get my nose down into it. So let's do that. Interesting. So there's a couple things. So I get the fruits, you know, and there's kind of a blend of red and dark fruits. You know, I get like dark cherry, you know, some plum, some good plum action going on there. You know, some tartness like raspberry or something like that. So there's those fruits that are going on. You know, I get a little minerality as well, but and you'll hear people say this a lot, and you know, I didn't sense it for a while, but you'll hear cellar dust or dustiness, and it's like, really? Maybe you just didn't clean your glass, you know? But it's really clear in this one, and it is. I mean, it's, you know, you almost, you know, because with dust, it's yeah, it's a smell, but it's more like you feel it. You feel it in your nose, you know, and that's kind of what I get here. And this is a 14% alcohol wine. You know, this is down, it's Mediterranean, lots of sun, lots of warmth. You know, the grapes, they're going to grow big, they're going to have a lot of sugar in them, so potentials for high alcohol. But this, you know, so I get a little bit of the sense of the alcohol, and I get a little bit of sense of that dust. So it's almost like fall when, you know, you finally have to turn the heat on, and that initial blast of heat comes up through the vents, and it's got that, you know, burnt dust kind of, you know, this isn't burnt, but it's that heated dust kind of smell. That's what's going on here. And, you know, it's kind of cool. I like it. It's, you know, it's adds something interesting to the nose, so I'm digging on that. You know, and the fruits are good. You know, there's some minerality to it. A lot going on in this nose, you know, for a $13, $14 wine. The one, you know, whenever you get a really good wine on the nose, you get salivation going, you're getting excited about it, but will it come through in the palate where it counts? Let's find out. Really, I like that nose on this one. Dragon fire coming out. Now I'm serving this one at room temperature, you know, so it's going to be 68 degrees, somewhere around there. You know, so it's a little warmer than you'd have it in a restaurant, or even maybe how you serve it. But I'm getting a sense of the alcohol in this one. Still, I can still feel it, feel the warmth going down my chest. You know, it's not hiding the alcohol very well. That being said, I was getting the same fruits on the palate that I was getting on the nose. You know, there's a kind of a lush plum that was coming through. The cherry was there as well. Yeah, and even a little bit of that dust is coming through, which is kind of cool. It's good dry wine. There's a decent amount of acidity to it. But unfortunately, you know, that alcohol, you know, and if I let this sit for a little bit, let some of that alcohol burn off, that'll go away. Or if I were, you know, even to just put this glass in the refrigerator for, you know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it would probably take that off. You know, so it's nothing to shy away from unless you're driving, you know. yeah, it's tough to get around that. But the finish, for me, the finish, there's not a whole lot there, especially with, the heat that I'm getting from the alcohol. But it's good fruit right up front. I enjoy it. Take a couple degrees off this, put this around 64 degrees, and I bet this would taste a lot better for me. It just gave me an idea for another show. So there you have it. And with the Priorat wines, you're going to get a lot of flavor. Usually, it's going to be a lot of depth to it. And you have a lot of styles to choose from. If you like Syrah, if you like Cab, you're going to be able to find them there. Higher Grenache levels, you probably get a little bit more of that black fruit coming through. Maybe even a little bit of dried fruit. So a lot of things to experiment with the wines here. I definitely recommend you check them out. They seem to be a little pricey when you do find them. There's two wines. There's this one that was 13 or 14. I think the other one was about 25. And I would have spent the 25, but I was looking for more of a traditional blend. I'd prefer to stay under 20 because I think that's everybody's kind of sweet spot when they're looking for wines. So kind of rambling on at this point. So let me stop and just ask my question for the show. Overall, what do you think of Spanish wines? There's a lot to choose from, all kinds of different flavors, different profiles, lots of old world, new world. Spain's crazy when it comes to their wines. So what do you think of them? What are some of your favorites? Let me know. Would love to hear from you. I see a lot of you watching, not a lot of you writing, which, hey, I don't either. I just like to talk. So, but I'd love to see comments. I'll call that the show. Thank you. It was great talking to you. And until the next time, cheers.